Web-based systems are widely used in today's business and applications. The data that fills these systems is dense and requires a lot of processing. Many of the jobs are repetitive and requires human labor, and they consume a significant amount of time and money. This is where web automation plays a crucial role. Hey everyone, I welcome you all to this session. In this session, we will learn about UiPath web automation. Let us look at today's agenda. We shall begin with understanding what is web automation. Then we will look at the key features of web automation in UiPath. Proceeding further, we will see how does web automation work in UiPath. And finally, we will look at hands-on demonstration. But before we begin, make sure you have subscribed to our YouTube channel and clicked on the bell icon so you never miss an update from Simplilearn. So without wasting any further time, let's get started with tutorial on UiPath web automation. What is web automation? The concept of allowing software robots to do predefined actions, activities, and procedures on a web browser or an online application is known as web automation. Web automation can help with the operations like form filling, screen scraping, data extraction, and transfer across apps, websites, and testing and periodic report preparation. Features of web automation in UiPath. UiPath is compatible with all webs. It is compatible with HTML, Ajax, Java, Silverlight, and PDF. Automated data entry. Data entry from an Excel spreadsheet to website can be automated in UiPath. It provides simple web testing. Without any programming knowledge, UiPath helps in designing a valid test. No coding is required. We can create automation with a simple to use graphical workflow designer. Playback precision. UiPath provides 100% playback precision. Web automation can be done regardless of the browser version, screen position, or size. How does web automation work in UiPath? A built-in recorder in UiPath web automation can read and implement web-based activities. It uses attributes to identify web items and manipulates them accurately while keeping up with page changes. It can be used with any website, no matter how sophisticated, and can be installed remotely through the network. The graphical workflow editor is simple to use and does not require any coding knowledge. It's something that any user with no programming experience can do. You save time and money by automating web-based workflows with UiPath. Let's look at the demo. So in this demo, we will scrape data from the Simplilearn's website. We'll go to Simplilearn's website. So consider a scenario where a customer wants to know details about a particular course. Suppose if I want to know all the UiPath related resources that are present on the website. So I'll search as UiPath and I'll select all free resources that are available on the website. So here you can see there are 27 results, 27 free resources available on the Simplilearn's website. So I'll scrape all of this data. So using data scraping option in UiPath, I'll scrape the resource name along with the type, whether it's an article or video tutorial, and along with that I'll scrape the URL. So I'll scrape all these three things and copy it in an Excel sheet, and the Excel sheet over an mail I'll send it to the customer. So let's get started. So let's jump into UiPath Studio and get started with the demo. So let's create a new flowchart. We'll name the flowchart as web automation, since we are showing this demo under web automation. So a new flowchart is created. So in this flowchart, we will drag and drop a sequence activity. Right click, and select as set as start node. So open the sequence and drag and drop an open browser activity. In the open browser activity, select the browser type. Select the whichever browser you want. I'll select Chrome. And one more thing you need to do is go to Home, go to Tools, and install the UiPath extensions. Click on Chrome, and if you want to continue installing UiPath extension for Chrome, please close all your Chrome process. Then click on OK. So then click on OK, and your UiPath extension for Chrome will get installed. So since I have already installed, I'll click on Cancel. After installing, when you open Chrome, so your screen will look like this. So where you have to enable the extension, click on Enable Extension, and the Chrome extension will be installed in your device. Okay, so let's come back to UiPath Studio. So select the open browser, select the browser where you want to get it installed. So let's create a variable here. Let's create a variable as website URL. Let's go to variable and enter the URL. So let's go to the Simplilearn's website and copy the URL. Once the URL is copied, so this open browser activity is a container that enables you to open a browser at a specified URL and execute multiple activities within it. So we have selected the open browser. So inside the open browser activity, we will drag and drop maximize window activity. Maximize window, it maximizes the indicated window. So after this, next we need to drag and drop type into activity. So we'll drag and drop type into activity, bring it outside, the open browser, indicate on the screen. The first thing is we need to select the search bar. So we'll select the search bar, and what we are entering here is UiPath, since we are searching for UiPath course. So enter UiPath, and after entering UiPath, we need to click on enter. So we need to enter to search the UiPath related resources. So click on this plus button and select the enter option. Select enter. So separate this, concatenate it. Okay, so this is done. So once in the browser, after entering UiPath, the next thing we need to do is click on this free resources. Click on this all option, check this box. So for that, what we have to do is search for click option, click activity, and select this click activity. Indicate on screen and select this click. So this is done. Next thing what we need to do is, when we click here on all, we find 27 results. So when we do it automatically, when the bot does this, when the robot does this thing, it does not go down and refresh all the results. What it does is, when it opens this page, without loading the below results, how much our results are available, some 10 results, it will copy only those 10 results. It will not refresh and copy the results which are below. So for that, what we have to do is, we will go to UiPath Studio, we will select, drag and drop one more type into activity, and will indicate on screen. We'll scroll down till the bottom and we'll simply select this blank screen, just because so that every time the robot comes into this page, it goes till the bottom and copies all the results. That is why we select simply a blank screen here, and it is showing an error. We have to enter something here, so we'll select a command, say, since we are scrolling it down, we'll select down, and this much is done. So go back to the flowchart which we had created automation, and we'll drag and drop a new sequence. So till here it's done, where we are opening the Simplilearn's website and searching for UiPath. Next, what we'll do is we will scrape the data. So we'll rename it as data scraping. We'll open this sequence. So data scraping is something where we extract structured data from a browser, application, or a document to a data table. So we'll click on data scraping. So we'll open the browser. So we have opened the browser. Now we'll select the data which we want to extract. So click on next, scroll up, so first we'll select the resource name. So we'll select top UiPath interview questions. To create a pattern, we need to indicate a similar field, preferably the last in the collection or the second one. So what we'll do is we'll select the second one, and we can create a column, and we'll name the column as resources. If you want, you can take the URL. We'll take the URL. Before that, we'll take the type. So these are the resources, the 27 resources. If the maximum number of results it will go to is 100 if we enter 100 here. If you want more than 100, you can remove this 100 and keep it as 0. So it will select all, 0 for all. So after this, we'll extract correlated data. This time we will extract the type, whether it's an article or it's the video tutorial. Click on article and indicate the similar field. For the next one, we'll select video tutorial. So this column, we'll name it as type. And we'll extract the URL of each resource, and we will name the column as, say, links. Okay, next, and we are done. So enter on finish. Is data spanning multiple pages? In our case, there is no multiple pages, there is only one page. In case if there are multiple pages, you can click on S here, press S to indicate it, scroll down and select the next pages. But since in this page there is only one page, so we'll click on no. Okay, this much is done. We have scraped data. So after the data scraping is done, we want to copy this scraped data into an Excel sheet. So to copy it in the Excel sheet, we need Excel application scope. So we'll search for Excel application scope activity. So Excel application scope activity opens an Excel workbook providing a scope for Excel activities. When this activity ends, the workbook and the Excel applications are closed. If the specified file does not exist, a new Excel file is created. So for this Excel application scope, so we'll go to desktop, go to new and create a new Microsoft Excel worksheet. We'll name it as UiPath details. So we have created a file. We'll go back to the UiPath Studio. Now we'll select the file which we had created. We'll go to desktop and select the file UiPath details, and we'll click on open. Next we will drag and drop right range activity. We'll search for right range activity, bring it inside the do, and by default it is sheet 1 and A1. So right range activity writes the data from a data table in a spreadsheet starting from the cell if the starting cell isn't specified, the writing begins at A1 cell. So once that is done, now we need to enter the variable, that is extract data table variable, which we extracted here. That is this variable, extract data table. We need to enter this variable. Go here and search for extract data table variable. So this much is done. We have scraped data from the Simplilearn's website. Then using the Excel application scope, we have written the data in the Excel sheet. So let's run till here and see whether it's scraping the data and writing in the Excel sheet. So we'll save it and click on run. So let's see. We'll close this. Here you can see it's opening the Simplilearn's website, entering UiPath. Oops, we have made an error. Okay, let's go and let's stop here. So we had made an error here. The bracket was missing. That is why. Now we have corrected it. Let's save and run. For that, close this. It's opening the Simplilearn's website. It will enter UiPath, select all the free resources, then it will copy this in the Excel sheet. You can see it's copying. So let's open the Excel worksheet which we created and let's check if it has copied. So you can see in the Excel file which we had created, the data has been scraped and copied here. In the first column, it is the course name or the resource name which we had copied. In the second column, it is the type, whether it is an article or video tutorial. In the third column, it is the URL. There are no headers here, right? We can give the headers. So we'll go to the UiPath Studio, and if you click on Excel application scope or right range, here you can see add headers. So click here and the headers will be added in the Excel sheet. So this much is done. Now next step is we need to send this Excel file over an mail. So to send this Excel file over an mail, let's go to activities. Let's drag and drop a new sequence. We'll use a separate sequence to send the activities over a mail. Oh, sorry, not here. We'll use a separate. We'll connect this. We'll name this activity as mail since we are sending it over a mail. Open this sequence. The first activity we need here is get password activity. So search for get password. Drag and drop it. Get password activity encrypts a password by associating it with the current user. Only workflows running under the current user context can decrypt the password. So go to the password and enter your email ID password. And in the result, create a new variable and store the password in a variable so that your password is encrypted. And name the variable as password, short form, something password. And next activity we need is send SMTP mail message. So double click on send SMTP mail message. So this activity basically sends an email message by using the SMTP protocol. So go to the port and enter the port, which is 587, and go to the server and enter the server smtp.gmail.com and enter the email ID to which you want to send the mail. Enter the password variable which we had created, enter that, and enter the email ID here as well. So enter the subject of the mail, what you want the subject to be. So I'll name it as course details. and enter the body. So I'll enter a simple hello. Hello, here are the details. Okay, so there is a prerequisite for this. You have to receive or to send an email, you have to go to your Google account, that is the email account, security option, and there you have to turn on secured access. Go to the option called secured access and turn it on. Okay, next we need to attach the file which we want to send it over an mail. Attach the file in which we had scraped the data from the Simplilearn's website. So let's go to web automation, the previous sequence, and copy the file path from the Excel application scope. So we'll copy this file path and go back. In the attached file, we will paste this path. Remove one double quote. Okay, click on OK. Next we'll drag and drop a message box just for like our reference to show a message so that the process is completed. So we'll enter a simple message in the message box like the course details have been mailed successfully. So let me correct the spelling. Details. Okay. So now there are no errors. So now the project is complete. So what I have done is I have taken a flowchart. In the flowchart I have taken a first sequence. In this sequence I am opening the browser, the Simplilearn's browser. I am maximizing it. Then I am using the type into activity. I am recording the search bar. In the search bar I am entering the UiPath and clicking on enter. So after clicking on enter, I'll select the all option where I'll select all the resources in the first sequence. Then in the second sequence, I'm scraping the data. In scraping data option, I'll scrape the data, I'll scrape the course name, the type and the URL. Then in the Excel application scope, I'll copy all the scraped data in an Excel file. So I'll use an Excel application scope. I have created a file. So in that file, I'll write the scraped data in the second sequence. Then finally in the third sequence I am using the get password activity and send SMTP mail message, and I am sending it over an email. I am sending the Excel file as an attachment with an email to the customer. This message box simply indicates that the mail has been successfully sent. Okay, now let me save and click on run. So I'll close the previous browser. Let me save and click on run. Web automation execution is started. It is going to the browser. Went to Simplilearn website. Search for UiPath. Click on all resources. And it's copying the resources in an Excel sheet. After copying the resource in an Excel sheet, it is sending over an email. So it has sent over an email and the message has been displayed that the course details have been successfully mailed. Let me go to my email inbox and check whether I have received it. So let me click on course details have been mailed successfully. Let me refresh. And here you can see I have received the mail. Let me open this file. So here you can see I have received the file, which consists of resources, the type and the link. I hope you have understood this simple example on web automation.